the most unique bear event I've ever been to. It's so when I've been there, that started in 2015, and I've been there every time, and it's been amazing. It's so unique in this sense. It's the only event I've been to where they're doing the things about parties and sauna and things like that. So it's just, and we were thinking in a way that, oh, they're not going to be, people aren't going to be interested in going to a conference talking. They're most interested in party and sex. It's not true.
Yeah.
People just met up, and this year we had a conference about, we called it When Hate Comes Out of the Closet, about all that's happening in Europe. Praise them enough for what they're doing.
I'm glad we're already recording.
Yes,
So-
I started recording.
Yes.
Lots to talk about. We are probably the most well-known subculture in the gay movement in Norway. We've been incredibly successful. And I said we were 22 bears that were coming to Kiev. And I said, can you do anything for us? And he says, we'll make a reception for you. And they invited the Ukrainian bears there, and we were there, and there were police, there were soldiers all over the place, and people trying to break through the barriers to beat us up. Now, but I don't never use my middle name, because the only time it's been used is once my mother was mad at me. And we were three brothers, and every time we did something wrong, she always used our middle names. It's really funny because my parents are so worried about me freezing to death, so they bought me a big winter coat. And when you came to Grimstad in the summertime, it's sunny, and it was going water skiing and things like that. Americans are very popular in Norway. Everyone has some relatives in the United States someplace. The only problem was I insisted on learning to speak Norwegian. They spoke English with me all the time. And I had my first sexual experience at Williams. When I slept with a guy, then I was around 20, 21, 22. I found that after a while I was much more attracted to men, and I thought I would never be able to be married to a woman. I came out when I was 24, around that time.
And I had friends who had gone back to the States and then came back to Germany a year later saying they couldn't stand it in the US anymore. You get back to the script.
It's an open book test.
Yeah. And the answer's in the back.
It was only that too. It was 1972. They took away the paragraph that made it illegal for men to have sex with men. At that time, my parents moved down to Venice, Florida, just south of Sarasota, Tampa, seated. So I visited my parents, and we went to our first bear weekend in Tampa. And it was just amazing experience.
The whole world is unstable.
It was in November '99 that we decided to start up a group, an organization. And we had bylaws, we have organization, we have a board of directors, general assembly, everything was in place in a way. It's not necessarily what you look like, but the attitudes you have in the bear culture. They won the parade for best section 3 or 4 times the last 10 years. We had a bear ballet, which we were become very popular. We had a professional ballet dancer who was a member of the club. And now, after 10 years, they've taken over in the board of directors. I was the chairman for 23 years. And then the guy that's now the chairman of the Bear Club, he's 34 years old, and they're doing an amazing job. So the most important thing part for me was that they are able to sustain these values and the ways of being and things in the club. And it's so nice because I said this in my interview that it's so amazing for me to see that these young cubs, the younger guys, that want to go there, and they come there, and then some of them are quite big, and they take off all the clothes and just have a jock strap on and go around. And of course, there's other guys that think they're really sexy too. And I said the people really get turned on by these big men too. That thing about diversity has been so important. In 2018, we changed our bylaws and said that trans persons that define themselves as men are welcome in our club. We go in demonstration against fascism. We go in demonstrations in terms of occupation of the Ukraine, because we have people there, friends there, their brothers there. This thing of diversity is coming more and more present in Norway. And it's really important to welcome the diversity that's coming. I was mostly interested politically in visiting countries and clubs to where they had a great lot of challenges as far as gay rights were concerned. I'm always fascinated why they think the bear culture is so interesting that they wanted me to come back each year. And suddenly I have a lecture about big, fat, bearded, hairy men that are gay. And they're just so surprised in a way. We had a newsletter, our newsletter, with it was much more. It was like a brochure every at least once a month with pictures and events and everything. All that is given to the archives.
This is technically the Norwegian Archive for Queer History.
I said that the bears are, generally speaking, adult men with experience and positive self-images. But the other part is also important is to think about being, I call it for spacious in terms of outlook on life, and they're caring and they're friendly. And they have a great deal of tolerance for people looking different and maybe behaving different too. But it's the way of being there. That's the thing that really struck me, even though we're sexy guys. There's a lot of guys that are sexy, but they have to think about the way inclusiveness and open arms and the way they treat people. And it's so friendly. There were periods in our club history we weren't very inclusive. So we have to work on this all the time.
One thing that caught my eye is as you were describing membership in the general bear group, I saw the Teddy Bear Club membership definition, and that echoed what you were saying about the general group.
No, the thing is, I'm back to Tallinn. Back to the thing is, when they have music, there we call bears talking bears, and everyone comes there, and the DJs talk also about how they become interested, how they came out as a bear, and things like that. And so we even when we were in Moscow, we took the bear flag on the Red Square. Luckily, the guards had no idea what the flag was, but for the Russian Moscow bears, and then the same.
Representation matters. One of our board members is a university professor, and he got a grant for us to study the original archives of our organization.
Somebody as an anthropologist is studying the bear culture and that they didn't think was possible or was important and it's so important, especially about the roots of the bear culture.